From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here at my bar at Tommy Max, and brought to you by our good friends at Foodies Care and, of course, the Daily News Network. Great show lined up for you this time around. Major Harding is back, fresh off a mission trip down in Costa Rica. We'll talk about that and some other things as well. We're going to talk a little AI, and we're going to talk about some race car driving, building, manufacturing, all right here at the University of North Florida. So let's welcome in the panel. Isaac Montes is up first with Osprey Racing from UNF. Welcome, Isaac.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right, you guys have been on here before. You guys are building race cars from the ground up. Tell us about it and tell us your role in that whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. So my role is essentially the aerodynamic lead, meaning that we build up the car straight from the ground up, from the frame down to how we design the engine, to how we design the aerodynamic package and the suspension, everything on it.
And you're head of the aerodynamic package.
Exactly.
How do you do that?
So we essentially, our main thing that we use is our main tool is using something called computational fluid dynamics.
Okay.
So we use computers, and it simulates air going across a 3D model of the car that we make.
Okay.
So of course, when it's not as simple as like an engine where you can see it performing well in real life.
Yep.
Instead, with aerodynamics, you have to use some other type of medium, since you can't see air flowing over the vehicle in real life.
Right.
And it would also be expensive to manufacture all the different parts one by one.
Okay.
If you were to do an iterative process. So what we do is we make a 3D model of what we think will work from theories and everything.
Okay.
And then we throw it in a software that will simulate air going across the vehicle, calculate downforce, drag, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then it will show us where we can improve. So we'll be able to see all those values and be like, okay, well, we want a little bit more here, a little bit more, maybe a different shape here. And then we'll go ahead and throw a new model in and just keep on doing that over and over and over again until we get to 2,000 times, running 2,000 simulations until we have a finalized model of what we think will work best.
Shop classes around the world are jealous as hell listening to me right now. They're like, what?
Sure.
You have to build a race car? How cool is that? So UNF has been doing this for, what'd you say, you built 13 cars, usually one a year?
Mm-hmm.
Is that typically how it works out?
Yeah, we had to skip COVID back in 2020.
Right, sure.
But we've been doing, the club started since 2020, or since 2010.
Okay.
And I believe that we had our first year around 2013, 2012.
So you're going to be an engineer when you graduate?
Yep.
Management. Okay. What kind of, it's a real dumb question, but I'm a bartender. What kind of engineering would you label that as?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering. All right, cool. Wow.
I will be going for a master's program in the UK to get my master's in aerodynamics, relating to CFD as well.
Do you eventually want to work in that field, in the Formula One or whatever racing field?
That's my goal.
Good for you, Isaac. Great to have you on the show, brother. Keep it up. Adam Daines is here. Hey, Adam, from My HR Ally.
Yes.
Part of the AI world. We've had a lot of AI on here lately, but not in what you're talking about with the human resources side of things. Tell us about it.
So My HR Ally, it's an HR software basically.
Okay.
And what we work on is 3 different levels. So for employees, we can load all the performance, policies, procedures, everything they want to know, even training videos.
Okay.
So if you're out and about as a delivery driver, or if you're in remote offices all over, you can access that. But that's the fun part of it. Not only can you ask questions, the system can ask you questions, which gets important later.
Okay.
And then HR, we have one of the largest legal databases we built ourselves. So you can trust the information.
Okay.
And HR can use that. So with HR, the questions from the employees taking up about 75% of questions.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we limit it to 75 is if it's sexual harassment, bullying,
Gotcha.
You want a human touch on that. You don't want someone, a robot telling you or AI telling you what's going on.
Right.
So with that freedom, the system kicks into the next level, which is making strategic decisions. So HR now can be strategic with decisions being recommended on performance, evaluations, strategy, skills gap analysis, which is where you look at what the team has versus where the business is going.
Okay.
So you can really map the human capital plan against the business plan of where you want to grow.
Building your perfect team.
Yes.
Per se, for whatever you're working on.
Yeah, you could actually you build your perfect team, look at where the team comes from,
and
you can calculate all the costs. And then as a business owner or a C-suite, you can actually look at how you take the business forward. So you can load competitive data, compensation data, strategy. You can load performance, how many people are coming, who you need. So if you want to expand into a different area or go into a different thing, you can ask the system what success likely it is. But also you can ask for red flags. So actually you can go onto the system and say, hey, what are the top 5 things I should be addressing right now? Because a lot of the times it's not what questions you ask, it's how you ask it.
Sure.
And then the system also can push questions to employees. So one of our beta testing was we were looking at OSHA problems, accidents. So we started calculating all historical data of accidents, who was there, what their background, everything. And then we put it in, and then we asked employees on the ground, take pictures, tell us what mainly concerns you right now. They started sending it. The system calculated the probability of an accident and a red flag based on the situation. So therefore reducing potential accidents that could happen in the workplace.
Yeah, right.
And that's just one element.
Yeah, and then that can be transferred to other models, right?
Absolutely. So you can have performance, extension of different service lines, operations, business strategy. And the one thing I want to make clear is like, we don't source the internet. Like everything in there, each company gets their own sandbox, which means the AI, they get the basic AI like a toddler. And we've taught it some things. But everything it learns is from the system and what the company wants in there. So it doesn't go open source, which means it doesn't hallucinate. So that means
you said that off the air. I was like, what is that?
It's when AI guesses.
When they guess, or it guesses, whatever it is.
So it'll make a guess, and you're like, well, that doesn't seem right. So all the information you put in is vetted, which means it only does. So the longer you use the system, the more advanced it becomes at your system. So in about 90 days, it can make recommendations. And in about 120 days, it can make predictions based on what you're doing. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But the biggest thing is like privacy, and then your own system, and then all the cool stuff of like it's protected and that. But yeah, that's the kind of fun stuff that
you're offering tools for HR people. That's what this is, right? And companies, but for their HR.
Yeah, it's not. Everyone thinks AI is going to replace all these jobs
and all that, right?
I see it as a strategic. I'm a bit of a geek, so I watched Star Trek a little bit, like 7 of 9. When they become like half. I think it's going to enhance and make things more strategic. Yes, will some roles go at the bottom end entry level? Yes, but I honestly believe a whole ecosystem is going to come out of it with new jobs. And one of the ones I love the most is the AI human interface and workflow. Like who's going to start doing that? IP protection, strategy, compliance, like all these different roles are going to come out of trying to like manage this AI. And you've seen it already, companies putting stuff behind firewalls because AIs literally can go take it off the internet. So I think the whole industry will come out of it.
Isaac, how about in your line of work? You guys using AI at all? Artificial intelligence with the engineering side of things?
Honestly, There's a lot of times.
We probably got to look back at old things, not just with the 13 you built, but I'm thinking like that movie Ford versus Ferrari. Have you seen that one with Matt Damon? The Shelby Mustang and the Shelby Ford. Really cool. They talk about aerodynamics and that type of. I'm thinking like that kind of thing.
They do, and they use strings and everything to go across the vehicle to simulate it.
That gives you some ideas moving forward, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we use AI a lot now. Like back then, of course, it wasn't as prevalent because AI couldn't really answer like engineering questions, but we've used it for coding. We've used it for, I've used it just for general ideas as to what I should do aerodynamically with the car. And also just like setting up programs. It's perfect for.
That's cool. That's cool. Good stuff. Mate, how are you, my man? Finally got you. Sorry. I gave you a little rest because you were out of the country. You need a little break. How was Costa Rica with 6A Ministries, man?
Amazing.
Yeah, you're feeding a lot of people down there, helping a lot of people out.
Yeah, hundreds of people last week. We took food into their houses. We prayed with them. We put some bunk beds. There was 5 kids sleeping in one bunk bed. So we built another set of bunk beds in 2 places. So that's just good stuff, man. It was good to have the Foodies Care group come down to see. Most of them had not seen Costa Rica and what we were doing. Mike White and Ryan Hawkins had been, but we had 16, including me, for 4 days. And
Foodies Care, just so people know, once again, they're helping the homeless, they're helping the hungry right here in
Foodies Care is a fundraising organization. It doesn't do the feeding, but it raises the money and gives it to organizations that are already in place feeding, taking care of the homeless. There's so much need out there.
No doubt.
It's just cool.
Cool. Well, great to have you back, my friend.
Thanks,
and great
Tom.
to have you guys on the show, man. Keep up the great work. Awesome stuff. Make sure you check out their profiles, this conversation, thousands of others. Go to the dailynewsnetwork.com website, and you will see it all right there. Until next time, y'all stay safe. Y'all be cool. We'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.